Paul, how big of a hit did Jim Harbaugh take? And I even like using expressions like that right now.
You think that's a hit? I don't think it was. I mean, he beat Ohio State.
Yeah, by losing to TCU.
Well, it didn't stop the speculation on the NFL side, but I think in terms of Jim Harbaugh as an elite college coach, he took some shots because his postseason record is abysmal, Max, and you can't ignore that. That was a Saturday afternoon was his sixth straight loss at Michigan in postseason, and that includes the last two playoffs. And this was obviously a game that went down to the final moment, but most of those games have been blowouts. So he's still done a remarkable job. And as Jay said, beating Ohio State is really the most important thing. But losing to TCU, I think, will be hard to get over. It won't be as difficult if he leaves. And I know that's another question, but it does mar the season, though. I mean, this was a Michigan team that had a inside route to the national championship game, and they blew it.
So when you look at it, Paul, Ryan Day get a second bite at the apple, right, and loses to Michigan, but he gets the back door in because my USC Trojans obviously helped him out. But who looks worse, though, in this situation? Is it Jim Harbaugh, although Jim has beaten Ryan Day 2 consecutive times, or is it Ryan Day because he can't seem to get to that place where Urban Meyer was?
Yeah, I thought Ryan Day redeemed himself to the point where he didn't get blown out, which would have been cataclysmic. Mm-hmm. He won that part of the battle, but this is now the second time, Keyshawn, that he has blown a CFP semifinal game. Remember 3 years ago, he had that big lead over Clemson, should have won the game, and they crushed it. They caved in the final quarter, and I think that's the hard part. He coached a nearly brilliant game, and quite frankly, the best call he made was a fake punt, except the guy on the other side, Kirby Smart, made a better call by sensing it, seeing that there was not only 12 men on the field, which the officials were not calling, but the different formation. And that one moment saved the game for Georgia and got them back on a roll. But I think it's a moot point whether he got in the playoffs. They played well, but this is not Urban Meyer any longer at Ohio State. This is a guy who can get you there most of the time, but can't get past that game. And quite frankly, this is not the same Ohio State program. I mean, this team was built. You know football better than all of us. And C.J. Stroud played one of the games of his career. Marvin Harrison Jr. in the first half was brilliant, and then he got knocked out of the game. Would it have been different? Of course, well, those are things that people still always talk about. But he wasn't in the game at the end, and Ohio State lost.
Paul Finebaum, host of the Paul Finebaum Show here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Paul, I've been reading a couple articles talking about the potential legacy of Kirby Smart if they get back-to-back, national championships. But what do we think about this matchup? Because whenever I start reading stuff like that, I'm like, okay, TCU, these guys are slingers out here, man. Like, they can make stuff happen.
I understand that, Jay, but I think Georgia had its moment. This is a program that has only been tested one time the whole season when they were on the road at Missouri, of all places, and you could just feel it in Atlanta Friday, Saturday that this was going to be a different type of game because of the talent. I don't think Monday night will be that. I'm not sitting here this late in the night and diss TCU. Everyone knows it's been a remarkable story, but I just don't think from a matchup standpoint this game will be close. I think Georgia has some issues that got exposed in its last two games, and it doesn't play well if you look at Duggan on the other side. But to me, Jalen Carter, who really was a no-show most of the game, who I think is the best defensive player in the country, I think will once again be a factor in this game, and I'll be shocked if Georgia doesn't run away with it.
If Georgia wins this game, Paul, and Kirby Smart wins his second national title, the legacy part is whatever, but what does this do for him to start to kind of get into that Nick Saban sort of Dabo Swinney conversation?
Well, it puts him right in there. And Dabo Swinney has won 2 championships. And Nick Saban has 7, 6 at Alabama. And to me, that's the biggest part of this. Is where I live, Keyshawn, Bama fans call in every day and talk about how can you dare say the dynasty window is closing. Well, let me make this point. If we're talking a week from today and Kirby Smart has won 2 straight, and remember he lost in a national championship game in 2017, then you can't tell me that the Alabama dynasty is still running on all cylinders when they have won 1 in 5 years and Kirby Smart has gone back-to-back. So it changes the dynamics. It's a paradigm shift. And I think it's one that really becomes critically important as we examine Nick Saban. I think it's foolish to say Nick Saban is done. He'll finish number 5 in the country. He went 11-2. He had the best recruiting class in the country. But he's no longer battling Dabo Swinney or Urban Meyer from a couple of years ago or other people. He's got to battle his own disciple in the same league. And that won't be as challenging with a 12-team playoff because everyone will start getting you won't have to win the SEC to get in the playoffs. But perceptively, I think it could be a real issue. And Kirby Smart's 48 years old. This is unique when you consider what he's doing. And I know Dabo did it a couple of years ago and couldn't sustain it. But listen, the 3 of us probably could win a couple of championships with Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence as our quarterback.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.